Is your canned tuna harming your brain? Did you know that canned tuna could be poisoning your brain if you're eating it the wrong way? Have you ever wondered why some cans are cheaper than others, or why there are so many types of tuna on grocery store shelves? And here's the most important question. Do you know which kind might be silently flooding your body with mercury without you even realizing it? Could that tuna sandwich you love actually be doing more harm than good? Today, I'm going to expose a little-known secret the food industry doesn't want you to know. Not all tuna is created equal, and the differences between them could be affecting your brain and overall health more than you think. But that's not all. You'll also discover the 4 biggest mistakes people make when eating tuna, especially the canned kind, often without even realizing the risks. And of course, I'll give you simple tips to enjoy tuna the smart, healthy way, without sacrificing flavor or your well-being. Curious? You should be. Stick around until the end to learn how to get the benefits of tuna, without the hidden dangers. I promise, after this, you'll never look at a can of tuna the same way again. Let's get started. What is mercury and where does it come from? Many of us have eaten tuna for years, maybe even decades, without realizing that it could be carrying something dangerous. Mercury. But what exactly is mercury and how does it end up in our food? Mercury is a naturally occurring heavy metal found in the Earth's crust. However, due to industrial pollution, especially from coal burning and mining, large amounts of mercury have been released into the atmosphere. Eventually, this mercury settles into rivers, lakes, and oceans. There are 2 types of mercury that matter when it comes to food safety: inorganic mercury, methyl mercury. Here's where it gets dangerous. When inorganic mercury enters water, it sinks to the bottom and settles into sediment. There, certain types of bacteria convert it into methyl mercury, a much more toxic and potent form. That's when it enters the aquatic food chain. First, it's absorbed by plankton and tiny crustaceans. These are eaten by small fish, which are then eaten by larger fish, and eventually by tuna. This chain reaction is why larger, long-living fish like tuna end up with high levels of mercury in their bodies. Why does tuna contain so much mercury? Tuna are migratory predators that travel thousands of miles across the ocean and feed on a wide range of smaller sea creatures. Here's the catch. If those smaller fish and crustaceans are contaminated with methyl mercury, the tuna absorb it too. And methyl mercury doesn't just pass through their system, it builds up over time. Imagine a box that keeps getting filled, but rarely emptied. That's what happens inside the body of a tuna. Although tuna can eliminate a small amount of mercury, most of it stays, accumulating in their muscle tissue. And when we eat tuna, we're also consuming that built-up mercury. Over time, this exposure can lead to serious health concerns, particularly affecting the nervous system and cardiovascular health. That's why health experts and nutritionists recommend eating tuna in moderation, especially for pregnant women, young children, and those with underlying health conditions. Biggest mistakes people make. When eating canned tuna. Before you open your next can of tuna, there are 4 critical mistakes you'll want to avoid. Mistakes that could be silently affecting your health. Mistake number 1, not knowing the different tuna species. Not all tuna is created equal, and the type of tuna you're eating has a major impact on how much mercury you're exposed to. Here are the 3 main types found in canned products and how they compare. 1. Skipjack tuna, Katsuonis pelamis. Often labeled simply as tuna, safest option for regular consumption. Small fish with a short lifespan, 2 to 3 years. Mercury level, approximately 0.12 parts per million 2. Yellowfin tuna, Thunus albicans. Commonly labeled as light tuna or yellowfin. Larger fish lives 7 to 10 years. Mercury level, you're on a 0.35 parts per million. Still considered safe, but should be eaten in moderation. 3. Albacore tuna, Thunus alalungum. Marketed as white tuna. Highest in mercury, up to 0.50 parts per million. EPA and FDA recommend limiting intake, especially for sensitive groups. Why it matters: the species listed on the can can mean the difference between a safe meal and one that slowly raises your mercury exposure. Always check. Mistake number 2. Not reading labels carefully. Want to enjoy tuna without the hidden risk of mercury? It all starts with the label. Here's what to look for. If it simply says tuna, it's usually skipjack, the lower mercury, safer choice. If it says light tuna or yellowfin, be cautious. These often contain higher mercury levels. Some brands include the exact species in the ingredients or on their website. Take a few seconds to check. And here's an important tip. Don't rely on tuna alone as your go-to seafood. Rotate it with other low-mercury, nutrient-rich options like salmon, high in omega-3s, sardines, budget-friendly and packed with calcium and vitamin D, mackerel, flavorful, fatty, and full of essential nutrients. Trout, mild taste and very low in mercury. Variety protects your health and ensures you're getting a wide range of nutrients while minimizing mercury exposure. Mistake number 3, not managing your weekly tuna intake. Tuna is tasty, affordable, and incredibly convenient, but eating too much of it can backfire on your health. According to U.S. dietary guidelines, adults should aim for about 227 grams or 8 ounces of seafood per week. While tuna is a solid source of omega-3 fatty acids, its mercury content can vary significantly depending on the species and brand. That's why it's crucial to read the labels carefully, rotate tuna with other low-mercury fish, moderate your servings, especially if you consume canned tuna frequently. Even healthy foods can become harmful in excess. Balance is key. Mistake number 4, not draining tuna properly. It might seem like a small step, but failing to drain your tuna correctly can ruin your meal's taste and texture. Whether it's packed in water or oil, canned tuna should always be well drained before use. If you skip this step, your mayo turns runny and your salad turns into soup. Not exactly appetizing. Here are 2 foolproof methods to get it right. Method 1, fine mesh strainer. Place the tuna in a fine mesh strainer over the sink or a bowl. Use a fork to press down and squeeze out every last drop of liquid. Method 2, use the can's lid. Open the can just halfway. Press the lid firmly against the tuna. Tilt the can over the sink and apply even pressure to drain out all the liquid without losing any of the fish. A well-drained can of tuna makes a huge difference in both texture and flavor. Don't skip this step. Water versus oil. Which is better? Let's break it down. While fresh tuna is always a top choice, canned tuna is a convenient and budget-friendly option, especially on busy days. But when you're choosing between tuna packed in water or oil, which is the smarter pick? Tuna in oil. Higher in calories, but also higher in omega-3s and vitamin D. Heavy metals like mercury and aluminum tend to bind to the oil, meaning if you drain the oil well, you can discard a significant portion of those toxins, tuna in water. Lower in fat and calories. However, since there's no fat to bind the metals, more mercury remains in the fish and ultimately in your body. So if your goal is to reduce mercury exposure, tuna in oil, well drained, may actually be the smarter and safer choice. A study published in Public Health Nutrition offers more insight. Water-packed tuna is great for those focused on omega-3 benefits. Oil-packed tuna may be better for people who need a higher intake of healthy fats, such as individuals with cystic fibrosis or certain metabolic needs. How to enjoy tuna safely. To get the most out of tuna without the health risks, follow these simple tips. Choose cans labeled simply as tuna, usually skipjack, the lower mercury variety. Always read labels and research the brand when in doubt. Alternate with low-mercury fish like sardines, salmon, or trout. Keep your weekly portions within the recommended limits, about 8 ounces per week for most adults. Now you know, so let's recap. You're now aware of the most common mistakes people make with canned tuna and the easy ways to avoid them. So next time you're standing in the grocery aisle, remember, know your tuna species, read the label carefully, mind your weekly intake, and always drain it properly Small changes make a big difference for your health. We want to hear from you. Have you ever made one of these tuna mistakes? Do you have a creative or favorite way to enjoy canned tuna? Share your tips and experiences in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, type yes in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out these 2 videos we picked just for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.